Okay, we are live. Here we are, another Sunday. Another Sunday, recording live from the Linfield Rapid Stop in our minds. Welcome to another episode of the Shaker Heights. Experiences may vary. I'm your host, Gabe Tolliver, along with my man
Eric Green, class of 84.
And we have our fellow class of 84, dancer, health and wellness person, cigar aficionado, and Steeler fan to the fullest.
Yes.
We have Azizi, Stacey Lynch.
Yes.
So welcome.
Thank you. This is awesome. This is awesome. You know, I just love you, Gabe. And Eric, I haven't seen you in 1,000 years, but I do remember you.
You really do? Wow.
I do. I remember you. I remember
Wow.
you walking around, you were quiet. And I was like, oh, he's cute. He doesn't say much, but he's cute. You know. But you were always nice to me. You were always nice to me.
Really?
Okay, I'm going to take this hat off because I'm getting ready to have a hot flash.
Okay.
You know,
No worries.
7:58. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
real talk. Oh, Eric, do you want to switch to? Do we want to switch?
I thought you would switch like this. There we go.
Oh, I like
yeah.
that. That's a lot better. That's a lot better.
This way. Yeah.
Yeah. So, man, Stacey, you know,
covered up my shirt. Wait a minute. Okay, there we go.
Okay. Let's see here. I want her to be in the middle.
I don't know how we can do that.
Let me see here. She should be in the middle.
Yeah, I like that.
Can you do that?
Yeah, I think
between
so.
my two classmates.
Let me do shift 2. Let me see. Hold on. Shift 2. Shift plus 2. Yeah, we're still getting used to the capabilities of this.
That's awesome.
I wonder if you know what? I can slide it. There we go.
Yeah.
There you go. That's that Shaker Heights education right there.
There you go. Hey, age ain't nothing but a number. So for all those folks out there, you know, like, I don't even know email. I don't know how to. No. Expand your neuroplasticity, as I say. But Stacey, you know what? You've always been what I call an enigma, because from what I remember from you from school, very quiet. Mm-hmm. Yeah, very quiet, very observing.
Yeah.
So,
yes.
Man, take us on this timeline. When you arrived to Shaker back in the day, your brothers and sisters, where you went to elementary school, yada, yada. Kind of take us through that first.
All right. Well, I'm an only child. So it was me and my mom. We moved to Shaker when I was in 6th grade. We were living in Cleveland at the time, and she had a few friends who worked for the school system, and they were like, we're going to strike. So we moved to Shaker, and I attended Moreland.
Okay.
And I was in Mrs. Rose's class, which was next door to Mr. Fucella and Scott Griffin. Sorry. Scott Griffin with it. Scott Ferguson was one of my other big brothers. I'll talk about
right.
But yeah, I remember that. But I was in the class with I think Eric Harris. Because I had to sit right. It was weird because the boys sat on one side, the girls sat on the other. I had to sit next to him. And he moved his desk back because he didn't want to sit next to a girl. And I was the new girl. It was bad. We rekindled our relationship after that. Yeah. So he's my brother. But no, so yeah, it was 6th grade at Moreland. And it was different. It was it was a little bit of a culture shock because I went from an all-black school to this diverse mixed school, and it was like, wow. And in the area where we lived, and I was like, wow, this is really interesting. I live not too far from Tony McKnight. So I lived in that area. We were on Coleman, and I think because I was an only child, I didn't explore it as much. I always had a small group of friends. So it may have been like 3 or 4, maybe 5 people that I would kind of like hang out with. But I knew everybody. I spoke to everybody, and I was quiet. I'm still quiet to some extent.
Yeah.
But I do sit back and I observe, especially in a new environment.
Mhm.
So yeah, went to Woodbury after Moreland.
Okay.
Woodbury was hard. Woodbury, eighth grade was tough.
Okay.
Eighth
In
grade
which
was tough.
ways?
I wanted to
Yeah.
throw Kerwin Kane out the window every day. He was so mean to me.
Oh man.
And yeah, he used to talk about me every day. And finally, somebody was like, my mother or somebody was like, just ignore him.
Mhm.
And I did after a while. And he and I ran into each other years later at the airport, and we talked about that. And he was like, I don't even remember. He said we were just out of control, out of our minds at that time, raging hormones, just all kind of stuff was going on. You know, you're changing,
Yeah.
13, 14 years old, you know,
Right.
developing. And yeah, so we hashed it all out and we're good. You know, we're good. That's my boy again. And then of
Yeah.
course we ended up at Shaker. And Shaker was cool. I wasn't the best student in the world. I really wasn't into sports. So the extent of, because I know you've had people on you guys were on the basketball team, football team, wrestling, and all that kind of stuff. That wasn't me. I was a majorette though,
Okay.
junior year and senior
Yeah,
year, and that
I
was
remember
fun.
seeing it. Yeah,
Yeah,
I remember
yeah.
seeing you in those
I was the
pictures.
one with the, you know, my legs were about like this,
Yeah,
and you
yeah,
know,
I
about like
remember
that,
those
in the
pictures.
boots.
Yeah.
Yeah, little skinny legs in those boots, little outfit. It was fun. I'm glad I did
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And I think I can't remember if we had drill team there. I know we had drill team at Woodbury. I was a
You
cheerleader at
did have
Woodbury,
it
actually.
because
I
my
forgot about
sister
that.
started my sister started the drill team. She
Oh,
was the
really?
founder
Okay.
of the
Oh,
drill team.
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your sister's name?
Andrea Green. She graduated in 79, 79,
Okay.
78, 78. She graduated in
Okay.
78.
Okay.
Okay. I know I was on drill team at Woodbury. I don't think I tried out at Shaker though.
Okay.
But I know I was on it at Woodbury. I was a cheerleader at Woodbury too, which was fun.
Oh
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah,
Man.
that was fun.
You know what? You know it's funny
It was
because
weird.
we were, you know, we were briefly catching up, and Eric and I before the show, and for some reason, I always thought you went to Byron, and that, you
No,
know, and so
I'm a
yeah,
Wildcat baby.
yeah, Woodbury Wildcats,
Wildcat.
and what Byron was what, the Rebels, right? So they
Rebels,
had
yeah.
that, yeah,
Well, they, yeah. And you know
yeah,
what's so weird to me, because we were rivals and then we all ended
yeah,
up at the same high school. There was only one high school. Come
right,
on. Yeah, you do the math. And then we all
yeah,
were, it's like Shaker against Heights, you
yes,
know, Shaker
Uh,
against Warrensville and Shaw.
yes,
But
we
definitely
were
Heights.
hated,
Definitely
yeah,
Heights. Yeah, yeah. And it's interesting because in my travels in the world now, people recognize Shakers. You know, they
mm-hmm.
say, you know, we're sitting around talking and stuff. We do this at the cigar lounge all the time. Sitting around
Okay,
talking, oh, what school you go to? What school you go to? It's a bunch of people from Shaw.
yeah,
Shout out to my Shaw people. A bunch of people from Heights. Shout out to my Heights people. All my cousins went to Heights. Most of my first cousins, said maybe like 2 or 3, they all went to
okay,
Heights. So I had to
oh
deal with
wow,
that,
yeah,
you know, family dinners and holidays and all that kind of stuff. You know, it's, you know, but
yeah,
I'm the Shaker girl.
yeah,
And then, you know, you say you go to you went to Shaker, you graduated from Shaker, and it's like, oh, you're a Shaker girl. Yes, I am. You
right,
know, because
right,
there's a certain mystique about Shaker. And I think doing this podcast is really awesome, because
thank you,
people may not have gone to school with us or went to Shaker, but they can kind of take a glimpse and say, okay, I kind of understand that a little bit. Because it was
yeah,
diverse. I think it was what's like 60-40,
something
black,
like
white,
that, yeah,
something like that.
yeah,
And or white, black. And
Yeah, Scott.
it was
Scott
really,
probably has the exact statistics. Sorry, I
yeah,
didn't mean to
yeah.
interrupt you.
I'm
Scott,
sure
Scott
he
got them
does.
numbers, yeah,
Right,
got them
right.
numbers.
Scott was hilarious. I sat there. I was on my way somewhere. I was rolling. I know the people in the car next to me were probably looking at me like, what in the world is wrong with her? I was cracking up. I love Scott. But
Yeah, he's gonna be. We're gonna bring him on a regular basis when there's like some topics
yes.
and stuff. Yeah, because
Yeah.
he's a
Oh,
natural, man.
okay. Strap in,
Yeah,
y'all. Get ready. Let's get ready. But
yeah,
yeah. Shaker was cool. I didn't have like I said, I didn't have a lot of friends, but I
hmm,
spoke to everybody and I was cool with everybody. And it's still
right.
like that now in my life because
Hmm,
I kind of float around.
Yeah.
Because we still have cliques and everything like that. And I don't think it's necessary. I think people who vibe together hang together.
Mhm.
And I think as we mature, we can create space to be able to move around and get to know other people.
Sure.
At least that's how
Sure.
I see it. Because
Mhm.
I have friends that are Hispanic, I got friends that are white, I got friends that are Asian, and there's usually some bond that we have, something that we share, whether it's an interest or just hanging out. We just kind of
Right.
hang out together sometimes. Yeah, so I think Shaker helped to prepare me for that.
Yeah, yeah.
You
No,
know,
I totally agree. I call
yeah.
it like world crossings, and then
Mm-hmm.
and oftentimes then there was the language of code switching that came very naturally to a lot of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then at the flip side, for me, in my own experience with with the shaker thing, I know that at an early age sometimes was you know depending on who it was frowned upon. Like, oh, you're
Mm-hmm.
trying to be a wannabe, whether
Yeah.
it was in
Yeah. Yeah.
clothing or style or who you hung out with and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
is
Yeah.
it was all about how you navigated all that.
Right.
But
And
yeah.
and I think it was cool because there are times when, and my mother and I, we kind of joke about this. I put on my Shaker accent,
Hmm.
you know,
Shake her
you know,
knees. Shake her knees.
yeah, yeah, I do what I need to do in order to
Yeah.
get through the situation.
Yeah.
But I'm still who I am. I think
Yeah.
as we grow in life and we mature, there are different aspects. Like I didn't act the same with my grandparents than I did with my friends on the Rapid trying to go to Randall Park Mall. You
Hmm.
know, not necessarily. There was a certain way I acted with my friends. I'm being a kid, but
Yeah.
when I'm around my grandparents, I showed reverence. And although they were cool, they were way beyond their years. May they rest in peace. But they were really cool people, and
Mm.
introduced me to a lot.
Yeah.
But I didn't talk to my grandma. I didn't cuss in front of my grandmother until I was way grown.
Right. Right.
And and I remember the first time I let something slip. I think I was in college. I let something slip, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm about to get in trouble."
Yeah.
It's it wasn't a big deal because she didn't really cuss. My
Yeah.
grandmother didn't. Now, for her to use profanity, it had to have been something really bad, really bad.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
noticed
yeah.
that with one of my Korean friends from New York, they when he speaks to his parents or his elders, there's a different dialect of Korean that he speaks that
Okay.
reinforces the acknowledgement I'm speaking with an
Mm.
elder,
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
as opposed to just regular folk.
Right.
So yeah, it's the
Right.
same thing.
Yeah.
It's the
Yeah.
same
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So who did you settle in? Who were your friends, and who did
the
you?
besties.
Yeah.
My besties. So at Moreland, it was Evangeline Gerber.
Oh wow, I remember that name.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then even I think that kind of carried through at Woodbury. And then my little vibe tribe at Woodbury was Erica Hitvagi,
I remember her.
um, Sue DePietro,
Yeah.
Caroline King. Caroline and I
Yes.
were real tight, and Sue and I were real tight.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think who else was it. Dolly Davis. No, Dolly wasn't until Shakers. I think she went to. Did she go to Byron? I can't remember if Dolly
Yeah.
went
I
to.
think she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So Dolly and I hooked up in high school.
Okay.
So it was small. It was
Yeah.
small. And then, and Sarita Ellis, she was a year behind us, but she lived near us.
Okay.
And she and I were real tight. She was, I think, my best friend. And then, you start moving around. And I was really cool with Billy Abshaw too.
Billy
He and I,
Abshaw, yes.
Oh
Where
yeah.
is Billy, man? Where is
Billy's
he?
around. Billy's around. There's a couple of people that keep up with him, and he's doing well. I forget where he lives, but he's doing well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Cause
yeah. He was one of. I mean, we were tight. We were
yeah.
tight, like in elementary. Because we used to walk back and forth to school together, and
Okay.
we would always stop. We would stop because remember on Chagrin they had the auto dealers.
Yes.
We would go
Yep.
in there
Yeah.
and get the booklets and get
Yeah.
hot chocolate in the wintertime because it was so cold. And I was like,
Oh, that's cool,
what is
man.
what are we doing? He's like, yeah, we can do this. I do this all the time. They didn't care. They didn't care.
Yeah.
They didn't care.
Oh, that's hella cool, man. That's like
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
like a moment to have like in a screenplay or something. You know, just that type of
Yes.
simpler moment like that.
Feel free to
Because
use it. Feel free
yeah,
to use it.
but
You don't
no,
even
but
have
you
to
know,
give
if
me
I do
credit.
it, there'll be the characters will be named Stacy and Billy. You
Oh
know
my
that.
gosh, that's
Yeah,
so funny.
yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Um,
So I was Stacy. That's my government name.
yeah.
And then along my path, I was named Azizi by a very dear friend of mine.
Okay.
Because I was dancing. Okay, let me be clear, because when you say dance to some people,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
think
You got to
there's
clarify.
nothing wrong with
Nothing
that.
to the
There's
wrong
nothing
with
Right.
that.
wrong with that. I
Understood.
have several
Understood.
friends. I have several
Understood.
friends who are retired from that life. And they did it to feed their kids, go to school, and all that kind of stuff. But
No
no,
judgment.
I was a West African dancer.
Okay. Yes.
And I started
Yes.
after college, in fact.
Okay.
So, and Shaker, I was introduced to dance because you know how the dance club had their little show.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, in 12th grade, I was like, "Well, I want to join it." So I joined dance club, and we performed a couple. I did the spring performance with them, and then it was a small group of us who performed during one of the uh, recital band shows or something like that, because they played some Benny Goodman song or something, and we went out there and did some kind of swing dance. It was hilarious, and it was so much fun, so
I
much
can
fun.
imagine like wearing them like the peppermint patty. Remember like from the Peanuts, they had those shoes. They were like
Yeah.
like patent leather shoes or
Mm-hmm.
something. That's what
Mm-hmm.
came to mind
Yeah.
when you said like the Benny
Yeah, yeah,
Goodman
because
thing.
we were
Yeah,
sitting in the audience, and then they started out kind of slow. Then the drum went off, and we jumped up. Woo! The little
yeah.
lady next to me was like, "Oh my goodness!" Yeah, that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
I
So
mean,
they introduced me to dance, and then I
wow.
started going to Kwanzaa and stuff like that, and seeing the African dance, and I was like, "Oh, I
Yeah,
want to do
yeah,
that."
yeah. So in terms of your West African dance studies, was there a particular focus? You know, like I'm thinking like there's Sierra Leone, Liberia,
Mhm.
Ghanaian. Was there like a particular flow that resonated with you?
Yeah, probably mostly West Africans, specifically Senegal, Mali.
Mm-hmm.
We learned some Nigerian dances, but it was in Guinea. So, and it's because we had drummers and dancers who were here living in Cleveland, who came to do a residency at the African American Museum when it was
Okay.
open. And I knew the people that they had this house. They call it Africa. In fact, Africa House is still around, Africa House.
Okay.
And like artists would come, specifically drummers and dancers would come to Cleveland. They would end up staying there,
Mm-hmm.
and because it's a like a 4-suite apartment building that one of the ladies owns. In fact, she was one of my first African dance teachers,
Okay.
Aku Sika, and so yeah, they would just come and started taking classes and audition for Dance Africa Dance back in the day, and made it and started, and it's been phenomenal. It's been phenomenal. So
Yeah.
we did some traveling, a little bit like around the states and stuff like that.
Okay.
But I did get a chance to go to Senegal
Oh man, I'd
twice.
still like to go
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
I have a good friend from there, from New York and stuff. The African dance thing also brings another person to mind. I don't know if you all had crossed paths. I think it was like Chloe Hobson.
Hmm. Yeah,
Was she part of that general Cleveland?
she wasn't in the group, but
Okay,
we found ourselves in class, and then I used to take class at Passport because there was a guy up
okay,
there. What's his? I can't remember his name. Is it Muhammad? I forget. There's I can't remember. I forget his name
yeah,
specifically, but yeah, I used to go up there and take class. So our paths did cross.
okay, yeah. All right.
Yeah.
And so, when you were gifted the name Azizi, what is the meaning when if somebody asks you, oh, what does your name mean?
Sure. So so my full African name is Nyasore Azizi Zakia.
Nasser Azizi.
Nyasore means thin one, because
Okay.
I'm still rather
You're
petite.
lithe.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
You,
yeah.
Yeah.
you.
In a Kenyan land, it's I think it's Kenya. It's from Kenya. Azizi means a treasure and excellent in Swahili.
Okay.
And I've also been told it means princess in Arabic.
Okay.
And Zakia means smart and intelligent in Swahili.
Okay.
So
Happily
that was
suited.
really interesting.
Suited.
It was really
Yeah.
interesting because, there at the time, this was in the 90s. It was given to me in 94.
Okay.
And a lot of people that I knew had, they were starting to change their names,
Mhm.
in the community, in the dance, community. And he asked me, one of my friends, he asked me, he was like, have you ever thought about changing your name? I said, I have. I have an African name. I said, I have. I said, but I don't want to just look in a book and say, oh, this sounds pretty, or hearing somebody say, oh, that sounds
Right.
pretty. I said, I want to be named by someone.
Right.
And he said, would you mind if I named you? I said, no. So a year later, he said, I have your name. I was like, okay. We had a naming ceremony at the house, and he said,
Wow.
invite people that would be supportive. And he
Right.
was a little surprised that my grandparents were there. I think
Okay.
a couple of aunts and uncles were there, cousins, and some friends. And I was like, they don't care. Again, my grandparents were beyond their years.
Yeah.
They had such a clear understanding about life.
Right.
And understanding that this is your life. This is what you choose to do.
Mm-hmm.
So as long as it's not hurting anybody and it's, not illegal, have at it. Have yourself a good
Right.
time.
Oh man. Yeah. That's wonderful. Now, did you
Yeah.
at that time, that was like 94, did you have somebody like record that historical moment for you with video?
No, I did not. I didn't think
photos?
about that.
Yeah.
No, and I don't know where any photos. I have to check with one of my friends. She might have some, because I dressed
Yes.
in white. It was
Yeah.
nice. It was really
Yeah.
nice. It was really nice. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
So are you still in the Cleveland area? Are you still anywhere near where you grew up?
Yeah. So I live in Cleveland. My mom bought a house in Cleveland after I graduated. Well, when I went to college, because she wanted to, get settled and stop paying all those taxes. And she
Yeah.
wanted to start traveling. And
Yeah.
and she and I started traveling, and she would drag me with her.
Oh, nice. So where were some of the
So it
places
was cool.
you
But
go?
we went to Senegal, met a
Okay.
guy, this was way before I started dancing, but met a guy who was here on an exchange, and we kind of adopted him just when I was in college. So we went to Senegal, we went to Brazil, we went to Bahia and Rio. I really want to go back to Bahia.
Yes,
We
Bahia.
went
That's on my
to-
list, man.
Oh my gosh, it was amazing. The Senegalese trip was, yeah. I tell people of color, or actually anybody, if you can trace your head, go to where your people are. And
Yeah.
especially for us as African Americans, descendants of Africans, I think it's very important for us to go and touch that soil.
For sure.
I was not going to cry and stand at that door of no return at the
Yes.
slave port.
Yeah.
Any of them, just go.
Yeah.
And I know several people who have been to like either Senegal or anywhere along the West Coast where they had those, Ghana, and they had that experience, and it's life-changing. It's
Yeah.
very, very, very life-changing.
Did you feel like you were at home? My mom,
Yeah.
in her later years, she went to West Africa, and she said there was a
Mhm.
feeling, and she was
Yeah.
surprised that like the rainbow of colors people come in Africa, because we have
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I think that's another piece that's really important, to go and see it, because
Mhm.
we all, I mean, they walking around looking like us,
Yeah.
and and let's see, we did some cruises, went to the islands and stuff like that. So, but my mom is awesome. She's been on every continent except Antarctica, because
Wow.
she started traveling, and that's something I'd like to do too. I haven't done as much lately, but I'm gonna get back with it, because it just
So is
opens
it-
you up to the world.
So
Oh,
you
no
pretty
doubt.
much can't keep up with your mother. That's what I'm hearing, right? Is that what it is?
Yeah, she slowed down. She slowed down a little bit. She'll be 80 this year. She doesn't
Okay,
look
right
it.
on. Yeah.
Yeah, she doesn't look it. We look
You know,
young, because I know
black don't
people
crack.
they don't think that I'm as old as I am.
No.
So yeah, I kind of slide in on them. It's like, oh yeah, I'm 57. What?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look like you're in your 20s, still in
Right,
college.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I could probably go down to the school and, catch a couple of brothers,
Yeah,
a
get
couple of them
carded,
young
get
boys.
carded. Yes,
Right.
yes. Don't
Wait,
hurt them.
old lady, get out of here.
Don't hurt them.
Right, that part.
Oh, but that pilgrimage, particularly back to West Africa, is definitely high on my list. I would love to see at Shaker some type of, because they had the programs that took you over to Europe. It would be great if they had a African exchange program with like West Africa. You know what I'm saying?
That would be cool.
And because I think that would really be transformative for all the diverse Shaker students.
Right. I think Ghana would be really good. Ghana would be really good because they're settled. There are a lot of expats there.
Yeah.
Because I know a couple of, at least 2 or 3 people that retired or they just moved over there. And I remember when I was in college, well, shortly after college, they came back and they did the apology thing. I forget what they had this, what was it called?
Like Truth and Reconciliation.
Yeah, something like that. It was some kind of stool ceremony that they did when they came here because they were doing this tour, and they were offering dual citizenship.
Yes, I read about that.
Yeah. I'm not sure if that's still in place. It might be, but that would probably be, Ghana would be awesome. And they were colonized by the English, so they speak English in addition to their ethnic group dialect. So
I have a friend. She's the co-founder of African Ancestry, and years ago we did like a trade. Like I did some footage of them sequencing, and this is like in their early stages of sequencing the DNA. I think went out to Utah, where the Mormons have a huge database of stuff. And
that's what my sister told me.
Wow,
So,
the Mormons, who knew?
They kept. That's
interesting.
Trying to keep count of who they were going to convert. That's the reason.
And,
that's interesting.
Yeah.
So, in terms of filming, I had gotten like an early DNA test, and so like the matriarchal line is between Sierra Leone and Liberia, the Membi, Tembi, and one other tribe. And then on the father's side, it's been traced back to Germany. So
really,
yeah, and that's all. Oftentimes, the case.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's on my list before I check out and go back to the cosmos, is to touch the soil of West Africa. So yeah.
Right. Yeah, you gotta go.
Have you done the DNA thing? I did. What is it?
Was it 1, 2, 3 or something?
What is that?
I have
23.
I have
23andMe?
I have to do it. My mom got me the kit and I have to pull it out. I meant to do it. I hope it's not expired. But I meant to. And I'm kicking myself. I do this all the time, but I shouldn't. But my grandmother wanted to do it before she passed. And I dragged my feet and we didn't do it. But I really, really wish that we had, because I really would have been telling. A lot, because it would have been hers and mine. And we probably would have got my mom to do it too.
I mean,
I think I'm interested.
It's more, it's so important. I think, for those who have kids or offsprings or nieces and nephews, to do a lot of family documentation, whether it's video or audio, because I mean it goes back to the thing that knowledge of self.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Where
Absolutely.
You come from,
Right. And they say that they say when an elder dies, a library is torn down or something like that. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
I know that based on whichever DNA company you use, they have different filters. That's why they suggest that if you're I've done both of them, but I know that when they suggest if you're African American, there's a specific company, which probably you used, Gabe, that will put you like, Africa's a huge continent, which is funny because we're known as African Americans, but we're the only ones not known by our countries, but by the continent. That shows how,
Right.
So, I would like to do that. But here's a funny thing from what's it called? 23andMe.
Yeah.
I got this. I don't pay attention to it much, but I got this email or whatever said that I'm one of the few people that still has traces of Neanderthal blood in them.
Oh yeah! Wow! Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if I should be proud of that or not, but
But you know, the
that's interesting.
Neanderthals get a bad rap. They get it. No, seriously, they do. In the scheme of things, in terms of their history and adaptation to that time period. So there's been some refuting to that slurring of Neanderthal, and then more and more now, the fact that there were several human species that at one time roamed the earth and either intermixed or they just died off, which is a whole fascinating other conversation,
Right.
just in terms of like origins of the human species. Certainly Africa as the nexus, but then the the going across, was it Pangea or crossing the continents and all that. I mean, there's so much we don't even know.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, one more fun fact.
Yeah.
I found out I'm related to Jamel Hill. Are you familiar with Jamel Hill, Azizi? She's a controversial sports announcer.
Yes, that's my girl. She cracks me up. I love her. Really? Oh, I love her. She's spicy, man.
Oh, I love her.
She is fiery.
And it makes sense because my niece is into broadcasting, and I always wanted to be into broadcasting before I was. My father dissuaded me. I wanted to be a sportscaster.
Okay.
But
you're in broadcasting now.
I can see that.
Yeah.
Right. You got the voice for it. I can see
yes,
you
he
now
does.
covering
Yes,
those Steeler games.
But the Neanderthal gets in the way.
You see that?
The Neanderthal gets in the way, and I can't always find a word. So, I think that's funded my approach.
Stop.
No, the thing is, you don't want Cro-Mag in your DNA, okay? You don't want Cro-Mag, okay?
Right.
Where John Miller used to talk about Zinjanthropus man for if we ever get him on. We've got some stuff to really,
John Miller, man, that guy would crack me up. I just remember him. I just remember all that curly hair. And, he would just like say stuff. I'm like, what are you talking about? God, you're absolutely insane. And he's like, wow. I'm like, oh my God, who is this kid?
If I get him, Morier Moore, and we were in Mrs. Fox's class in junior high, and we didn't take a language, so we took a language skills. I think it was junior high.
Okay.
And man, we used to cut up in there, man. I mean, it was just
Ray used to live up that's crazy. Ray used to live up the street from me.
Who told a story about Ray? Was it Tony Peck told a story about Ray with the big boom box or something? So,
go ahead. Oh yeah, shout out to my boo. Shout out to my junior high school boo, Tony Peck. And that was so funny because we called ourselves liking each other. And we went to the little dance and stuff. That was so cute. I don't know what happened after that. It was junior high school, so we probably. And then he moved at some point.
Yeah.
The social, yes, they were called the socials. Yes. Remember the kissing booth?
Oh,
they had the marriage booth. I remember the marriage booth.
Really?
I remember Amira Looney had like 5 or 6 because they put tape around every time you got married. She had 5. I said, how many husbands you got married? She said, man, I'm just marrying everybody. But it was just fun. We were fun. And yeah. So this is funny. Talk about culture shock.
Okay.
I remember we were there and it was at Woodbury. And I don't remember who the DJ was. We'll talk about DJs in a second because people still talk about Mike Chapman across the city. They still talk about Mike. Legend. And they got out in this thing and I was like, what are they doing? And they were doing the bunny hop. And I was like, what the hell is this? Like, it's the bunny hop. And Billy Abshaw like, come on. Okay. All right. We don't do this. We don't do this. And yeah. But stuff like that, man, we would just do. And then when you make me want to shout, da, da, da. Yeah, I think we did that, and it was weird. It was fun. It was fun. I was like, we don't do this in our community.
It's a cultural exchange. And it's funny how I
absolutely
listen to the vernacular of the people in the Lomond area, exchanging, cultural language. It was fun.
Yeah. And it's cool because, like I said, it helps them because we're not the only ones on the planet. And just people that live but there's some folks, they just deal with what's going on within like 5 or 6 blocks of where they live.
Mm-hmm.
And now it might be a little different because of the internet and all that kind of stuff. And so there's so much content out there. But I tell people, get on and explore, because there are people who have never been on the West Side.
Oh,
They've never been to Akron.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's still people walking around. Yeah. They don't go that often. They're like, oh, I'm not going way over there. Akron is like 30, 40 minutes. It's not that far. Yeah.
My kids are from Akron. So
I went to school in Cleveland, at Cleveland Institute of Art, and I never crossed the bridge until after high school.
Really?
Yeah.
That was a culture shock. Crossing the Detroit Bridge. I never went further past the stadium,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we would go to the West Side Market.
Mm-hmm.
And then as I got older, just going out and kicking it, you had to go a little further to get to the Excalibur. You weren't here, Gabe.
I was there.
Yeah. It was a little club. My God. It was a little club. It was a little club we used to go to. We used to go when I was in college, a little bit after. Yeah, we used to go to the X and some other places, a little further.
We must have crossed paths and didn't even know it.
Probably. Wow. Probably. But I would have remembered you.
Mm-hmm.
And I might have said something. Maybe. Because we were such a cool, it was like 1,000 of us in class, it seemed like, but we all knew each other. And like you guys, you grew up in Shaker, for the most part. So you have friends that you went to kindergarten with or preschool. Right. Yeah. Cause one of my friends, my best friends, he's got friends from like preschool.
Wow.
Well, was it tough for you getting into those cliques? Because it was tough for me because my parents divorced and they had to get me into school early so Mom could go back to school, go back to work. She was a nurse. And I went to Montessori school so I could start school early. And I never meshed. The only connection I had was the Little League Baseball.
Yes. Yep. That was the main social network.
I made the team at Byron, and then I got cut from the high school team. So I never really melded. I had Mark Nance and Danny Tepper were pretty much my only friends, to be quite honest.
Okay.
I knew everybody
That's right.
else.
I remember you and Mark. Yeah.
And that was it. I mean, I knew everybody else, but I didn't hang with them. And when I hung with them, I was with Mark. I was like a passenger with Mark, who hung out with Jim Mellon and Robbie Mayers and George and those folk. But I was the second wheel. I didn't feel like I ever meshed or.
Yeah.
But did you feel like you felt the same way?
It was similar for me too. Yeah. Because I don't really, like I said, I kind of float around. So I was friends, like there may be somebody in this group that I'm friends with, or maybe somebody over here that I'm friends with, and it's kind of like that now. Because there are groups of folks, there are cliques everywhere. But I had a small group of friends, and I just kind of, and my mom, she was protective, as a girl and all that kind of stuff.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
Yeah. So there were only certain people's houses I could go to, only certain places I could spend the night. I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate that. Now, and I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's like that with her daughter. And she says, no, I'm the hangout house.
Yeah.
I mean, I can have people over and stuff like that. Because I remember one day we were walking home from school and it was cold, and it was Tony, Kerwin, somebody else was with us, and they came in to kind of warm up a little bit. And but I didn't do a whole lot of hanging out. And probably it's up and well, no, I was too old. Well, I used to go to the Cedar YMCA for summer camp. So I had a little group of friends there. But then when I aged out of that, I think after you get to be 12, my mom always sent me to summer school. So I was always doing something in the summer so that I wasn't, sitting at home and, not, no activities or anything like that. So, I got to know people like that. But and sometimes for me, I vibe with, whatever activity I'm in. I find people I kind of hang out with because, I'm in a sorority, so I do the Delta thing sometimes. I'm always a Delta, but, you have that. There's several Deltas in, from our class. Hey, soror. Hey, other people in the D9.
Divine Nine.
Yeah, yes. The Divine Nine. Yeah.
Now, you guys have a secret motto like intelligence through wisdom or something like that. Is that the motto, the secret motto for the Deltas? Huh? Don't you guys have like? Yeah,
we do.
See, I know. I kind of know.
Yeah.
So did you carry over relationships from high school, or are most of your friends that you have associated with college or family?
Most of my friends are from college.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, so where'd you go to school?
I went to Cleveland State undergrad.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm a Viking. And then I went to the University of Georgia for grad school.
Okay.
So I'm a Bulldog too.
Yeah.
What was that experience like in Georgia? How did you like that?
It was cool. So I was 30 years old when I went to grad school. So I'm on campus and I've met some of my sorors and things like that because that's what you do. And it was like I was friends with some of the undergrads, but not really because I was in grad school. And by me being 30, there was a lot of stuff that I'd already done. I was like, I'm good.
I've been there, done that.
Been there, done that. I'm getting ready to go. I got to go to work. I got to go study. And as much of a football head that I am, I never went to a game.
Oh, wow.
On Saturdays, I went to Atlanta to take dance class.
Okay.
Because I was still actively, dancing at that time. So I was in dance class, and they had class was like at 10 o'clock in the morning on a Saturday. So I had to get up and out in order to make it to class, which was cool because, I kind of knew those people from doing conferences and stuff.
Okay.
But I didn't hang out with them. I would take class and come home, for the most part. Yeah.
So all right. So tell us, how did you evolve into a Steelers fan? Especially, like I alluded to Tony, like being a Steelers fan in Northeast Ohio, it's like, yeah, you all are cut from a different cloth. You know what I mean? Like,
there are a lot of us too. There was a lot of Steelers fans in Cleveland. So we had a good friend of the family who was a diehard Steelers fan. He was from Pittsburgh. He played ball and stuff like that too. And he's the one that really, now one of my uncles gives me a hard time, but this guy is the one that sat me down and taught me about football.
Okay.
How to, what the downs meant and what different players were doing, all that kind of stuff. So, and then it was in the 70s, early 70s. So, I watched a couple of Super Bowls and we won. I was a kid. So that's how I became a fan.
Okay.
And I didn't really.
How to be sad following the Browns. He taught you very well,
Yeah.
Right.
Being miserable and mad on Monday and angry.
Yeah.
Add that on to being black. That's too much to handle.
And so that's how I became a fan. And then over the years, I started, like really getting into going and watching the games and stuff like that, hanging out with my friends. And then eventually I found a group of people, thanks to Facebook. And I was friends with this one guy. Say, oh, you should come out to Wings and watch the games with us. We're on Miles. Okay. So I went out there and I walked in and it saw this sea of black and gold. I was like, I have made it home.
Oh.
Thank you, Jesus. Yeah. So that was cool. So I started hanging out with them. They developed a fan club that I'm no longer a part of now. But I made some really good friends and we still, interact today.
One of the things I'm happy about, when people talk about Facebook positive, was the connecting to Derwin on Facebook. And I mean, Derwin feels like he's like a brother from another mother, or a family member. And the fact that I don't know how him and I connected. I think him and I used to jaw back and forth about the Browns and Steelers, and then the fact that you all connected and built, connected that Steeler, bond and everything. And I told Eric
that was so funny.
Yeah, you got the cut sleeve, you got the dope Steeler cut sleeve with the leather vest, right? You got that, right?
You want me to go get it? It's right over there.
Let me put on my deflector shield. Yes, go ahead. I can see it through there.
That's right. It's right here. I can go get it. It's a motorcycle vest. Yes, it is.
Yeah. Yes.
So this is the front.
Yeah. I can't front. I can't front.
And then this is the back. And these are signatures from different Steeler players.
Oh wow, Steel Dancer. Yeah. That's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, this is my name in Steeler.
I got my
Nation.
Yeah.
I love that. That is so awesome, Eric. Oh my gosh, you should put that on right now. So funny. No, I'm being silly, but my friends, amongst some of my Browns fan friends, they're like, a lot of them, I'm their favorite Steeler fan. I mean, because I don't bother you. Now, if you come for me, I'll come back with it, but I don't bother people.
Right.
I don't. I just, come on, it's football. It really doesn't mean anything at the end of the day. But I am true to my team.
Right. And I saw that a couple of years ago on Facebook because I had tagged you with some other Steve fans, and you were like, nah.
Yeah.
Keep your name
I think I DM'd you on that.
I am mad at you. I am mad at you.
It's so funny. Yeah, because I squash it, because what happens is that becomes the focal point. Because there are some people, every time they say me, "What's up, Pittsburgh?"
Right.
I had to tell this one dude, I said, my name is Azizi, because what it does is it brings animosity and negative energy to you, because I pick up energy.
Yes.
And sometimes, even though people say, "Oh, I'm just kidding," you're not, because I can feel it.
People say that
undercurrent. Yeah.
Speaking of picking up energy, because you being artistic and empathic, what's your zodiac sign?
I'm a Virgo.
Oh, okay. Yes, the Earth.
Yeah. I'm an August Virgo. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah. August 28th. Yeah.
I think that's my brother. That's my brother's birthday. My older brother's birthday.
Really? Fine person.
Yeah. Yes. See? Yes.
I know several people who I share birthday with. Yeah. In fact, we used to get together and have birthday parties. Well, they would have one.
Virgo
parties.
Like,
okay, I'm coming. Yeah, the Virgo party. Yeah, the 828 people.
Yeah. What I say about Virgos is that they have all the letters up for to spell out. It's an ERFECT, and it's still about getting the P, but just to reflect the the strive for perfection.
Yeah.
But they have all the other letters, and that's not a diss or nothing like that, but it's just the exacting preciseness and stuff like that. I have a Virgo moon, so for me it's always like a struggle with the emotions, through the Virgo lens, and as well as a certain level of discernment. So yeah.
What's your sun sign?
My sun sign is Cancer, and my ascendant is Sagittarius. Eric's Scorpio.
Oh.
So we're all like good flow here.
Yeah. Because my ascendant is Libra and my moon is Aquarius, which I think is why I got that other stuff going on. Because Aquarius,
Aquarians, forward thinkers, disruptors, they're looking 100,000 miles down the road, and you know, and it could be, you know, people could mistake them for being aloof or, you know, too
Yeah.
abstract and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a
Yeah.
budding astrologer. I'm always, yeah, I will
Okay.
never say I'll know
We should
enough or
talk,
nothing.
man. I mean, I don't
Yeah,
know a
yeah,
whole lot, but I know some people who know their stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I believe in the
Yeah, we should
science.
talk. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting because my intuition started kicking in junior high school.
Hmm.
Wow.
And it was interesting. And because I just and I'm, you know, it's just like I just like feel stuff, or I'll
Yes.
pick up something like some kind of energy or something, or I see like a newsreel in my head, or it's like
Yeah.
a dream, like a vision
Mm-hmm.
like that. And
Yeah.
I'll just be
Yeah.
like, because I remember my friends would be like, "Oh, we're gonna do such." I say, "No, that doesn't sound like a good idea.
Right.
No, I'm
Right.
not gonna do that." Yeah, so that's kind of when it started, and it's developed over the years. It's
Yes.
still
Yes.
developing, but
No,
it's an interesting journey.
it's a fine tuned thing because I think Eric and I have talked about it in other terms, you know. But
Hmm.
yeah, yeah, no, it's yeah.
Yeah.
So
I too.
so let's get back to you know, your experience, because I always like to circle back. With
Hmm.
growing up in Shaker, I always look at it from a point of view of where I started and what I saw, and I don't mean to throw this in, but I felt that there was some progress, and you know, looking ahead in the future, it looked bright. Do you feel we talked to Scott? It seemed like Scott didn't really see any difference from how he looked at times back then in high school or what have you, or in the '90s after graduating, and now. How do you feel? How do you feel about that? And what did Shaker teach you, or maybe it even like distracted you from things? Because that's how I felt. I felt like we're
Hmm.
in some sort of ivory tower, you know. So like even just
Yeah.
out to the west side, you know, it's a little different from
Yeah.
Hmm.
you know what I was
Yeah.
experiencing
Yeah.
or what I felt. But
Hmm.
then I've learned differently talking to people, and that's what one of a big reason why we're doing this is comparing
Hmm.
notes. We're circling back after the trek through the woods, you know, this long trek,
That's a good
and
analogy.
Yeah, I
comparing
like
notes.
that.
So I want to hear
Yeah.
what your journey has brought you, and what you think about your experience compared to how you're living. Or go ahead.
Okay. It's I think Shaker really, like we talked about earlier, really helped to prepare me to deal with other people across cultures and be sensitive, you know, because we
Mm,
were out of school on Jewish holidays. Who does that?
Yeah.
right.
So it was like, okay, so there's something there. This is valid. You know, what they're doing is valid. Um, but I also think that I don't really remember a lot of racial tension, so
Mm,
to speak, because you know we were cool with different people. Um, and again, I was a lot of times on the outside looking in, but I don't remember a whole lot of that going on. And then when I
mm-hmm.
talk to my friends now, they reflect like when they were in school, like when they went with bus to the west side at different
Yeah.
schools, you know, being called a nigger and a blah blah
Yeah.
blah, and just having, you know, and fighting all the time.
Yeah.
We didn't have that. And I think a big part of it was because you know, we were together, you know, for a long period of time, like especially those, I call them the lifers, you know, who grew up in Shaker. I
Right.
didn't start till sixth grade, so I had kind of half. Um, but you know, when I like my best friends were white when I
Mm-hmm.
was in Shaker, and then it kind of, you know, then it came a little bit more diverse later, but I wouldn't have had that experience. And something that I think is similar, little, maybe not as much, but similar, the cigar culture. There are
Mhm.
people that you meet in the cigar lounge. Funny, so you're gonna like this, Gabe, and I'm gonna go get
Okay.
the shirt too. I
Yeah.
met
Yeah.
Eric Metcalf. I met Eric
Oh yeah.
Metcalf, former
Oh
Browns player.
wow. Yeah.
He is so cool, and we sit over there, we chop it up, and it's like you know, it's like we went to school together, and we just sitting around
Is he
talking,
still in
smoking.
Cleveland? Is he still in Cleveland?
No, he's in Seattle, but he does come to town
Oh
during
wow.
football season. because he does the pre-show with Josh Cribbs.
Yes.
He was here a little bit ago. They were doing something at the Hall of Fame, and he was there. But it's like I met this dude. I've met a couple of other people. And it's like okay, all right, yeah. And I think just being around different people, and it was a lot of people in our class.
Yeah.
So
like,
and we
what,
knew
500
everybody.
Or something?
Yeah, it was close to 500. I remember I was telling one of my mom's friends. She was like, "How many people were in your class?" It was like 500. She said it was like 500 in my school.
Right,
so
right.
we dealt with a lot of different people because and the schools were big. Each class was about that big. And I think tolerance, it's more than just tolerance, because we were just kind of like trying to figure this out. But I was never called the N-word. I remember one time I had to get, may he rest in peace, Ty Bassett together. Yeah. I may have misinterpreted something that he said, but because he came up to me, "Hey, Stacey, baby, how you doing?" I said, "No. No, we are not that cool. You do not talk to me like that." Because I thought he was just trying to be silly and black. But now I understand. After I got, later, it's like that was just who he was. He was just real cool. Yeah. May he rest in peace. That was my boy. I love Ty and
man.
Bob Fry.
Ty's my brother, man.
Ty was cool. He ended up being I was junior high school. So, by the time we got to high school, a lot of stuff that we were dealing with, because I didn't pay Kerwin any mind after that. I hated him like with a passion.
Kerwin was straight up cut up, man. He was straight up cut up.
He was so bad. You know who else? And I know I'm getting off topic.
No, it's fine. No, it's good.
Bill Roberson. Where is Bill? We connected on Facebook.
Yes.
And I have got to see Bill. When I tell you, between him and Scott, you were good for a laugh. And I had a couple of classes with Bill. And I took a home ec with Bill.
Yeah.
And we would cut up. He would cut up. I didn't always cut up. I was always on the outside after that. But he would just say something. He could have been a stand-up comedian.
Oh no, easily. He could have been like a Bill Bellamy, Martin Lawrence type. Yeah. But I will say this. We went to Ludlow together. That dude had jets for feet.
Yeah, I remember that.
He could run and stop on a dime. And when it comes to kickball, he could boot the kickball, man. Because that's what me and Greg Fuller were talking about Bill Robeson. So Bill Robeson, if you're listening, we gotta have you for the Moreland Ludlow kickball. Yes.
And my mom remembers him too. Because he worked at the grocery store. And she remembers him and Mark Green. Because she said, that little boy be over here dancing, packing up groceries. I said, yeah. Mark was always dancing.
Did Kerwin continue playing music? I remember he was a bass from what I heard.
Right.
Years later. Yeah, I ran into him. This was years later up at Arabica. This had to have been like the late 90s.
Oh, Arabica.
Remember Arabica? Yeah. Oh, I miss Arabica. I love that place. And we were sitting out there and he was still playing. I don't know where he is now. Anybody know where Kerwin is?
No idea.
I'm sure somebody knows.
Because he had changed his name. Because I can't remember if it was Muslim or Hebrew.
Mm-hmm.
I can't remember. It was because it may have been Muslim. Because I think he had been, because that's another thing, you start to experience different things, and people change names or they do other stuff. Because I know you all were talking about Meadows. Was it John Meadows?
Yeah, I was. The drummer.
I didn't know him in
high school. I met him later.
Okay, yeah, I remember him from high school because he was on the drum line. We had a drum line back then. They think this stuff is new. We had a drum line at Shaker Heights High School. It used to jam too. And I used to run into him periodically. I think he was in his dad is a family friend too.
Okay.
So I would keep up with him through him. I don't know where he is.
Well, I saw he was at Cleveland Institute of Music.
Okay.
And Kushmir was at the Cleveland Institute of Art, but he was also DJing at the local Case Western Reserve radio. What was the radio? What was the college radio
Oh,
station?
K.
WCW,
CK.
CRW, I think WCRW.
No. That's I can't remember. I used to know that like the back of my hand, but I have a cassette of
Oh my
Kushmir.
gosh.
I called him one night, asked him to play me some James Brown because I'm a huge James Brown fan, and I still have a cassette of that dedication. I can't remember. College radio, I can't remember. WCSB? No, that was a jazz. I got
no. Yeah, it's you said Case.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like it was similar to CRW, so something like that. It was something similar.
Yeah.
Because I used to listen to them too.
WJCU?
That's John Carroll.
No, that's John Carroll.
WCSB. It was alternative.
Okay. Yeah. I think it was kind of alternative back then too.
Yeah.
They played some different stuff. I used to listen to them a little bit. And Cleveland State had one too.
Yeah.
And I used to listen to them.
I had a good friend on there, rest his soul. He had the radio show House of Black, Eric Dominique Brown, but it was House of Black. And they would play house and hip hop but
I love house music.
House was huge in my tail end of.
Yes.
Go to Hanks. Did you go to Hanks on the west side? In Lakewood? They would that was when people started getting together. From other sides of the city. But Hanks, a lot of the Browns were there. I saw Tom Darden and Bernie Kosar.
Okay.
And people would come out, and me and James Longs. I don't know. Do you know James? He graduated in '83. But we would dance and just be out all night. But they made it a point not to play the black music until the very tail end of the night because they didn't want too much.
It was gonna be on and popping. Let's go.
Yeah, but we went anyway.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah.
It was.
And that's the other thing, the music, because I was a fan of Kiss, Leif Garrett.
Leif Garrett.
Wow.
Something with the Blue Funk dude.
I know. I used to have his poster on my ceiling. And my mother was like, those posters are gonna fall down on your butt one day.
Oh my goodness.
And it was I also had Michael Jackson, DeBarge.
Yeah.
Switch.
Yes.
Switch.
Yeah. Because I think a couple members of Switch are from Akron. Is it? I think a couple members are from Akron.
Philip Ingram, James Ingram's brother.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I think it was, we were talking about them last night. I was at the lounge. Okay, I got to shout out GTG Cleveland, Good Time Gang Cleveland. It's an international cigar club that I'm a member of. I absolutely love them. We didn't get a chance to talk about cigars and how I kind of got into
let's
that.
talk about it now. Like, what,
Okay.
It's
interesting.
Yeah.
So I was having dinner. One of my friends was having a birthday dinner, and they were like, it was a group of us, and she was like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the cigar lounge." Now, I've been friends with these people for a few years. I don't remember them talking about no cigars. So I was like, okay. So we went to Shaker Cigar, right there on next to the Sunoco. I think it's Sunoco on Lomond and Lee and Lomond.
Okay.
There's a cigar lounge right there, a little small thing.
Really?
And we went there. And I had my first cigar and I enjoyed it. And I'm looking around. I think it may have been one or two people that I knew. And they were like, "What you doing in here?" I said, "I'm hanging out with them." I don't know. And it just became something that's fun. And it has introduced me to a bunch of different people. Like I said, let me go get Eric's t-shirt. Wait a minute. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm moving the camera, but is what we do.
This is great.
That must be where the Shaker Recreation used to be, like right across at the end of. That's got to be that place.
Is that like where like the bus depot is for the school buses?
No.
It's across. You know what? It's across from Firestone. It's across from Firestone.
Yeah. So that's where the Shaker.
It's on Lee Road.
Yeah. Shaker Theater.
Yeah. I said Chagrin. Yeah, it's on Lee. Yeah, it's on Lee.
Yeah.
So,
it used to be. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I forget what it was. I don't know, but it's a little small. So I had my first cigar there, and then it's still black owned. At the time, it was a different owner,
Okay.
and so I just started going. And then there were a couple of other ones that he opened. The guy opened, and we started going there. And you know, it's just a place to go and relax and chill. We talk sports, we talk life, we talk about a bunch of stuff, and sometimes you're just sitting there chopping it up with somebody, and you don't. I mean, it could be anybody, you know.
Right.
Everybody from the guy throwing garbage cans in the truck or driving the truck to a doctor or a lawyer, but it's all even. Everybody's cool, everybody's chill because you're lovers of the leaf.
Yeah.
And so
The other
one
leaf.
of my friends, yeah, the other leaf, yes, yes. This leaf, this leaf. This cigar
Wow.
actually is kind of cool. It's called underrated. It's a company called Luciano. It's like a boutique cigar company, and this affiliated with Ron Harper, basketball player.
Okay.
Oh, really?
This is
Wow.
like,
Okay.
yeah, I think this might be his blend or something. But yeah, so yeah, because I think he's gonna be here. I know he was in Akron last week doing a cut and light, some kind of event. I think he's gonna be in Cleveland at some point, so I'm gonna keep an eye out for that.
Last
But
time
yeah,
I
you
saw
just
him, he cut in
just
front of me
cool.
in Bell's. That's the last time I saw Ron Harper. He cut in front of me in Bell's.
Bells. Oh my God, that's another one.
Bell's Party
Bells.
Center. Yeah. Remember the Togo Suite and the reason why.
Oh man.
Yes. Yeah.
What?
Yeah. My
What?
uncle's a jazz musician. I used to be at the Reason Why all the time.
So one quick question about cigars, because like I know nothing about them really, other than people smoke them and stuff. So are Cuban cigars considered still like the top cigar for folks, or are there other ones?
Not necessarily. And this is
Okay.
this is my opinion. This is what I've learned
Okay.
talking to a lot of people. You like what you like. So there are people who are only going to smoke this one brand. They're just going to smoke that one cigar. There are people who are just going to smoke flavored cigars. I started out with flavored cigars because they're nice and mild and they taste nice. But my palate has changed over the years. I think over the last couple of years, my palate has changed. I can't even smoke a sweet one anymore. The ones that I started out with, I can't smoke them because they're too sweet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And so yeah, Cubans are good, but there's so much. I mean, and I'm still learning. I just started learning. And I like a lot of cigars with tobacco leaves and stuff that like from Nicaragua. I like Nicaraguan cigars. Yeah, I like those leaves, and I'm still learning a lot. I like what I like. I smoke what I smoke. But again, it really depends on your taste. And I tell people who might be interested or starting out, so I said, ask for something mild or a house stick. A lot of the house sticks, because each place has their own house stick for the most part. A lot of them do.
Okay.
A lot of the lounges do, and those are usually mild. And just tell them it's my first time. They'll steer you.
Yeah.
You must have built up a tolerance. I remember trying to smoke cigars and just my head just.
Yeah, so you have to eat.
Yeah.
I eat before I smoke. I drink water while I'm smoking. And you don't inhale because that'll make you sick. But there are times when every once in a while I get one that's kind of strong. It'll have me spin a little bit. And I just sit there and I'll drink some water. I'll go outside if I need to. And then it's like 20 minutes later, I'm good. But yeah. But it's just relaxing and it's fun. And and now I'm in this, it's an international cigar club. And we have a lot of fun. And we just celebrated the Cleveland chapter just celebrated their second anniversary, and we're doing there's three individuals who have been in the cigar game a long time in Cleveland. They're doing a cigar fest, Cleveland's first cigar heritage festival. It's the weekend before our reunion.
Okay.
This is a serious
July 11th
culture
to the
here.
12th.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like
It
wine.
is.
Yeah, it's like wine
It is.
connoisseurs. Yeah, it's just
It is.
totally.
Yeah.
Wow.
And people pair, like, I know guys, they do the bourbon thing. I'm still a lightweight. I just mostly drink a little bit of wine, but you can pair wines, you can pair bourbon, whiskeys, got all of that stuff. And it's guys out here that's like doing that, men and women. And there's a lot of women that smoke.
Yeah, what are the percentages? Like when you meet up there, how many other women will you find there? What's the mix?
It depends on the place and the night. Sometimes I'm the only female there. Sometimes it's mostly women. It just depends. Because I think in our cigar club, I think it's mostly women in that. I don't know.
Okay.
You know what? I think it may be a little even in our chapter. I think it might be a little even.
And then I also think about it from like the spiritual sense with like Yorubin and maybe Santeria, the smoking of the cigar and blowing the smoke and getting into the spirit. So yes, I like seeing that stuff happen.
I do that too.
Yeah. Is it like the LeBron chalk thing, where it goes?
Yeah. Well, yeah. So what you do is when you light it, you blow out the lit end and it creates smoke, and it's for cleansing. My next thing I want to really do is really study more about the healing aspects of tobacco, and learn a little bit more about that, because Native Americans have been using tobacco. There are other peoples who have been dealing with tobacco and using it, and of course with that what you just talked about with the Santeria and Lukumi, they use the cigar, the tobacco.
It would be a hot show like they have for like hot ones. You do one with cigars, but you pair it with like the random like finger food or something like that, like cigars and chitlins.
Cheesecake.
Oh, yeah.
I need you to
cheesecake.
It's so funny. That's so funny. But yeah, this is my Eric Metcalf shirt.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. Yeah,
so chopping it up at the lounge. He and I talking. He's giving me a hard time about being a Steelers fan. He started out really nice, but not anymore. But so he's one of my cigar buddies. Yeah. And when he comes to town, we always kind of chop it up a little bit. And
I was at the game when he ran 2 back at the stadium. Do you remember that? Against the Steelers. Yeah. It was
Eric.
92. I knew that. You remember that? I remember. I was there.
You know what? Something's going on. I'm losing the connection. Yeah. He about that, and I just looked at him. I was like,
about that a few times. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I brought up his highlights one time, and we were like, at first I didn't remember him. I remember the name, but then I watched it. I was like, oh, that's that little sapsucker. And and I watched the highlights with him, and I was like, I should bust you up right now. He just started laughing. But but he's really a good guy. He has his own cigar. A lot of athletes, a lot of different people have their own cigar profile. He hasn't really released it, but he did give me one last time I saw him. It's a really nice smoke. So I'm looking forward to when he actually for real releases it, because it's a full-bodied smoke, but it's nice. Wow. It's nice and smooth. I smoked it on the eclipse day. I'm gonna save this and smoke it on the eclipse day. But yeah, we were at the lounge one day, chopping up, and one of the guys was like, "Oh yeah, we got to turn her into a Browns fan." I'm like, "That's not gonna happen," but okay, y'all stay under that position. And he was like, "Yeah," and he said, "I have a shirt I'm gonna give you." He said, "Would you wear it?" I said, "Yeah." Not in public, but I'll wear it. Yeah. When I got it, I took a picture of me in it and sent it to I know one of the guys that works with him. And I sent it to him. I said, "Send this to our boy." And he sent it to me.
We're around the house when you're cleaning or whatever.
Yeah, that's what I told him I was going to do. That's what I'm going to do, that terrible towel. Get the hands on, because I always have my terrible towel during football season. Y'all need to chill with that. Don't be jealous.
Have you ever crossed paths with Kenny Lofton? He's in the area a lot. I think he smokes cigars. For some reason, I think that I've seen him. Does he?
No, yeah. I think I've seen. Who else has been up? There's somebody. I don't always remember people's names, but different times they'll say, "Oh yeah, no, that's so and so." Say, "Oh okay." Mm-hmm.
It's
know,
amazing,
but
like the
yeah.
athletes that aren't from here, but have they come back. They're in and out of town all the time.
Yeah, and I think it's cool because they do that in Pittsburgh. They have different ones. They'll come back for stuff, or some of them still live there, or they'll just come back definitely during football season. Because that's what Eric does.
Right.
And just different. I mean, it's like you just go back because they still remember, how much the city loved them.
Yeah.
And
Right.
they're still fans too. They want to see the franchise succeed.
Yeah.
And even though I am a Steelers fan and all that good stuff, the AFC North is the toughest division.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt.
It's like they got to come through all of us.
Yeah. Right.
And
Right.
the Browns are doing their thing. Who knows what may have happened last year had everybody not been hurt.
Yeah.
And who knows what would have happened if we had a quarterback, but we got one now. We got two.
Yeah.
I don't see how the hell you keep winning no matter what. It's the coach. It's definitely the coach.
It's the coach, and and listening is the
And the
culture. It's the culture,
culture,
and
100%.
it's like that. Taking it back to our experience at Shaker, the culture was so different.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've experienced that anywhere else, because and I remember we because I don't remember us fighting, having big fights amongst each other. Now, if Heights had, rolled through, that was a whole nother conversation that I know folks have.
I'll never forget that football game where you at that. I wonder if you were doing the dancing when we played Heights for homecoming, and like Trevin and a bunch of cats went over to the visitor side with the flag, and then
I do remember that. I remember that.
All of a sudden, they just got swarmed on.
That's crazy.
Trevin, I love you. I would run into Trevin all the time because
we got to have him on this show.
Because he's a Q, so I would run into him. I see Sean all the time too.
Oh wow, okay.
And then we have our little gatherings. They always show up. And again, I wasn't like hanging out with people, but people remember me.
Right.
And because I was quiet, and I think people say I was nice and quiet and all that kind of stuff. I was like you, Eric. I kind of stayed back and I didn't get into a whole lot of trouble because I was scared of my mom and my grandmama. And I did not want that smoke. No.
My sisters were both graduated from Shaker. They were crash test dummies, so that's all I need to see.
I know that's right. See, I was an only child, so
Yeah.
My sister told me today. She told me she was the drill team captain, and she went to camps and they formed the drill team. I have to ask her what made her do that.
We got to bring her on, man.
Yeah, well, she won't do it. Anyway, I asked her, like,
it's so much fun. I sit in the living room. Sorry.
She's whatever. For whatever reason, but she was telling me about the rivalries. I said, were there rivalries with Warrensville, Shaw, and Cleveland Heights? She said she remembers them running to the buses, her being on the drill team, and Shaw, they were trying to flip the bus. They were actually trying to rock the bus.
Shaw didn't play, man.
And I said, what'd you think about that? She goes, oh, it was part of the fun. It was expected. It was part of the fun.
But I also looked at that too, is that
crazy.
Like all those other high schools kind of painted all of us in this particular picture, like, yeah, you Shaker folks acting all bougie and uppity and whatever.
And for good reason. I think if I were in their shoes, I'd feel the same way. Back.
I remember the basketball game.
Well said.
Yeah, it was I think it was Heights or somebody, but there was like a massive brawl in the gymnasium, and like all those Lake Erie League mascots, a couple of them got broken down. People getting chased through backyards on Aldershot and stuff. Yeah, I was just like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, there Shaker was, and people did think. I mean, people think I'm bougie because I went to Shaker. I'm not. I mean, I know how to I mean, I like nice
Yeah.
things. That's Virgo in me. But
Yeah.
you know, people, I mean, to me, that was kind of a small segment of people who were like really like that. It was like, oh, she's the Diddy, or he, no. But most of us were like just there, like I said, trying to figure it out. Because I remember you guys, and I remember I always loved you, Gabe, because you were always nice to me. And just such a, you know, just with one of them crazy dudes, always having, you know, laughing and stuff. But you know, we were just there trying to figure out, trying to get through school and make it to the next step. Because I think most of us knew we were going on to college or to the military. Or something. I don't think it was that many. It was expected. It was expected.
Did you feel the academic pressure? I felt it. I felt like if we weren't, you know, I took a level 4 like history class. I was horrible in math, but you know, I felt like I had to challenge myself at something academically. You know, it just felt like. Did you feel that same pressure or no?
Not really. My family is just like really cool. We keeping you up, baby. We need to.
Who, me?
Go.
No, I just drank some fizzy water.
I'm messing with you. I'm just messing with you, because you know we are closer to 60 than we are 50. But yeah, keep it.
I'm in bed by 7:38.
Yeah, exactly. No, I got off.
That's not the case with me.
Yeah.
But oh, okay. But I forget what I was saying.
Oh, see, there we go. Shoot. Proof.
There we go. 58. That's what happens when you turn 50. It'll come back. It might. And then while I watch the video, watch the playback, go, oh yeah. That's what I was talking about.
We were talking about this is
being bougie and stuff like that. Yeah, that wasn't the case. Yeah. Oh, I was talking about how wonderful you are.
Oh, you're too kind.
Oh yeah, he wanted to go back to that. I understand.
Yeah. But I mean, we were just all there, because I remember, I mean, I wasn't wearing designer stuff. And a lot of us weren't. I mean, some were, but I remember I had a pair of Gloria Vanderbilt jeans that my mother got for me. They had a little red piping down the side. They were so cute. I got them for Christmas, I think. I wasn't really into purses, so I didn't, because I remember that's when Louis Vuitton and Gucci and all that stuff started coming out. I wasn't really into it, so I didn't have it. You know, shoes, I really was. I'm still not into brand names. I have no idea. I have a shirt that's, I think, a jacket or something that's Nautica, and it was on sale, and it was the color I wanted. That's how I ended up with it. Yeah. So I think for the most part, most of us were just, you know, kind of doing our thing, but it does have this whole thing. And then, you know, we just got along with everybody. Again,
a lot of people were
you know, we had different friends.
Value City. Remember Value City? Like
yes,
Value
That's
City,
where I got
100%.
I love Value City. That's where we got the Gloria Vanderbilt jeans. Value City.
And then when TJ Maxx came on the scene, that was another spot too. I remember getting like Sassoon jeans, and they had them, you know, and they were like on sale, and and partially it was because it was like a commercial, ooh la la Sassoon, and it was like the New York hockey team or something that was pushing them. But no, to your point, I mean, I always tell people my family was working class with middle class aspirations.
I think that's a great way to put it. Great way to put it. Yeah, because like my mom went to college. Actually, she finished up her degree. She went to Tri-C, and then she finished up at Ursuline when I was still in school. My uncle went to Akron, so it wasn't like I was the first generation. But even with my cousins, they've all gone on, either went to college, went to the military, or did some type of trade, you know, where they had to be trained and stuff like that. But, you know,
I wish Shaker would have a trade school component. Yeah.
Well,
I know they did the thing. Yeah, the vocational, they went to Heights, I think, and what was it? I think in Lawrenceville.
I took a vocational art course at Orange, which I found out here.
Okay, I did.
Yeah, they did
Cigar
have that.
Aficionado.
Yeah.
I took a
Yeah.
commercial art course. Yeah.
I think I remember you being an artist, Eric. I think I
Really?
remember that. I think so. Um, yeah, because I
Scott
remember
claims
Kush
that he
and
remembers, but I don't think he remembers. I think he claims he remembers, but
okay.
I'm an
Yeah,
enigma.
You were the man. You were the man,
yeah.
Eric. You were the man.
No,
Him, and
no,
well,
it's
he
lost.
is an enigma because like I didn't remember him from high
No,
school,
and I knew
and
him
Really?
through Little League, and I knew he didn't know who I was.
until we connected like on Facebook, like
Really?
4 or 5 years ago, and I honestly, and it was no disrespect, but I was like, dude, I don't remember you. But everybody,
Yeah.
I talked to, like, oh, we knew Eric Green, whatever. And for me, it was just crazy. I was just telling him yesterday, he showed me the picture from the yearbook, and it was like such a dope shot of him in the hallway, grainy black and white photo. He had a suit on, he had the dark glasses, he's carrying his books, and he's striding. And I said, yo, I need to get a copy of that because that needs to go on my wall. And it's just like Shaker Ronin. So yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to get attention, but was shy as hell. I used to be friends with Danny Tepper, and he ate my lunch period. So he always played chess. I didn't know how to play chess. So I just sat in the library and watched him play chess. Never learned how to play, but it was just, I felt awkward. I didn't have any friends, and I didn't feel right being in the lunchroom, so I had to have some place to go. And I told him I would dress up just to maybe get noticed by some girls or something, but it didn't happen. But
well, I thought you were cute.
Well, why didn't anybody tell me? I didn't know
that's the problem. That's the problem for my generation.
And I was shy too because I didn't think anybody liked me. I mean, I was skinny and then the whole thing. And people, I mean, guys didn't really pay that much. I think I had one boyfriend at Shaker.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I had one. Well, I'm sorry, I had two because there was Tony for like 2 weeks. And then another guy, he and I dated for a little bit, but I didn't have like that long lasting, we all can't be Ab and Priscilla.
Oh man,
so,
yeah.
I absolutely adore. We need to do a movie about them.
Yeah. I mean,
a movie, a book or something.
I don't even think younger people date anymore. They just hook up. They don't.
They hook up. Yeah.
But that is one for the books. Yeah, I only had one girlfriend, and that was like senior year, and she was like in 10th grade. Tiffany Venable. Yes, Tiffany Venable.
I remember the name. I don't remember her. Yeah,
she had a sister named Erica Venable. But that was like my only girlfriend, man. So yeah, I totally.
Yeah, I mean,
I think what this all illustrates, we all had degrees of shyness and a fear of vulnerability. So you could have had the maddest crushes on people, but they would never know, and vice versa, because of like, oh, but if I say something, I might get dissed or dogged.
Oh yeah, it was
crushed.
Man, I remember my stomach,
right,
like wretched.
Yeah. I mean, when the Far Side came, yeah, exactly. Right. When the Far Side came out with "Passing Me By," I mean, if that song had come out when we were in school, that would have been like the anthem, like just that angst, yeah. But we grown now.
Yeah, that's the most fun time.
We're good and grown now. Let's go. We got our 40th reunion coming up. I'm excited.
Yes,
I'm excited about that.
Yeah, and I Eric and I, we talked about this quite a bit about the 40th and just wanting it to be more, not exclusive to the cliques that historically I've seen at the reunions. Like whether it was at the Winking Lizard or other places, people always tend to gravitate back to their cliques, and it's just like I mean, so I just really hope like this time it's really people are stepping
Hopefully the
outside the
show
comfort
will
zone.
help that. I'm
Yeah.
hoping.
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
Yeah,
Eric.
I hope
Yeah,
so. I hope
yeah,
so. And I think Facebook has helped me because I wasn't part of different groups, but I can't wait to see Kelly Robinson. I hope she's coming. Who else? Because she and I have been, we have a really nice rapport on Facebook. I remember her
yeah.
from school.
Okay.
But
Is that Kelly Clemens or is that her?
yeah, Kelly Clemens.
Okay.
Yeah, she's Robinson now, but yeah, Kelly
Because her
Clemens. And it's so
sister
funny
is
because
my sister's best friend. Yeah.
okay, because I worked with one of her sisters. We worked in the same on a project or something together. And you have that too. You run into people professionally, and they either went to Shaker and graduated before you, or they had a sibling. Because I worked with Retanya,
Myers, right?
Retanya Myers' sister for a while.
Yeah.
She was my boss. Yeah,
Okay.
Renita.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I ran into
yeah.
Retanya years ago at the airport there in Cleveland.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Yeah. So
no,
I hope
that's
people
what's
are
up.
coming.
Yeah.
This is a big one. Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a big one.
Because a lot of people are sending, you know. Uh, so yeah. I hope we have a real good turnout. The weather's good, and I hope like
Yeah.
the geopolitics doesn't,
Oh
like,
man.
there's no like
Overshadow.
nuclear launch, in and around the reunion or just stuff that like I mean we're living in very
I think we'll be fine.
Well, just-
we're
yeah.
we're
Well,
gonna
just
start
with the
vibing
mix-
on that.
yeah
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it'll be a nice little conference, just with all the things that are happening, and it'll
Yeah.
be interesting to see how
Mhm.
outward people or forthcoming people will be.
yeah
Because
Yeah.
I think it would be a good time to talk about that stuff. I mean, look at the dichotomy of our high school. I mean, blacks and Jews, it's
Yeah.
crazy
Yeah.
that type of populace,
Exactly.
if you will.
And then, I think with like, and Eric, you and I might have talked about this a while ago, but just the fact, like, I feel like when you go to like the first reunion, it's sort of like people are flexing, I'm doing this, I got this degree and all that. And now it's just like, okay, you've done all that, you raised a family, you got grandkids, you're doing it. Yeah. So now it's just be your authentic self,
Exactly. Be authentic. Absolutely.
Just hang the fuck out, whatever.
Yes, because I will
so-
have my cigars with me. I don't
Yes.
think I can smoke there, but I'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Figure it out.
for sure.
Yeah, we do figure it out. And
Yeah.
I probably will not participate in the kickball game.
Well, you can do the
I will
dance
come.
thing. You be one of the.
I'm gonna get some pom-poms. I'm gonna be a cheerleader, and I'm
There
gonna
you
root
go.
for both teams.
There you go.
Well, I got to
There you
root for
go.
the Moreland team. Who's it? Is it Moreland and
Ludlow versus
Ludlow?
everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And
So I got to root for Moreland.
There you go. And check out, flex the shirt, Eric. Yeah, because
I love
significance
that.
of that. It's just that those in particular, those schools were significant in the integration efforts. So
Yeah.
So that's why we kind of did, but anybody can play for any team. I mean, as long as we get Bill Roberson on the Moreland Ludlow team, that's all that matters. Yeah.
Did he go to Moreland?
No, he went to Ludlow.
He went to Ludlow.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then
yeah.
April and Angie went to Byron, and Pat Walker went to Byron.
Okay.
So yeah, and then Scott. I mean, the fact we got Scott on the team. I mean, he brought the kickball back. Like
I remember
like
that, and it was like every time they
ago.
had it, I was doing something. Yeah, I was always doing something. Couldn't go.
And they played
That's
over
cool.
at that
I'm
field
looking forward.
over near Shelton or something, right by the, I think right by the school bus depot.
Okay.
And
Okay.
I had never been over there to play, or I didn't know a park had really existed over there. And so it was a reminder about like, one Shaker borders of what they knew of Shaker. And where they, hung out and stuff. I mean, it was fascinating hearing from Tony and Scott about the wall. That was like their Facebook behind Native Son.
I think there's a book. I think there's a burgeoning book about our, just the Black experience at Shaker. I really think there should be.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. And that's why
yeah.
we called the podcast Experiences May Vary, just because
Hmm.
there's all these other stories that
Are you familiar with the Shaker Dreamland book by Laura Meckler?
I saw you guys talking about it, and I said I was going to order it. Yeah,
and it is available. My sister ordered the soft bound. That's why it was taking so long, and she went back and got the hard copy. But
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah,
we
but
were
I did.
Part of the experiment. We were lab rats.
That's awesome. Yeah. Right. That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
This is cool. I enjoyed this. Thank you for letting me come on.
Oh no, man, this is a pleasure, man. Look, we're just trying to get as many folks as we can scheduled and to do it around our respective lives and everything. Yeah. So no,
Chris Brown would be good on here because he's a phenomenal artist.
Yeah. So
Chris Brown.
Well, hey, if he's listening,
I'm gonna talk it up.
Yeah. Have folks DM us, and we can start scheduling. Because we plan to broadcast at the reunion as well.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. And so we look forward
banners,
to that
everything, giveaways, raffles.
Yeah. Okay.
So, and sounds also like we're trying to get a sponsor here. Let me see.
Who is that?
This is Newman's Own Pizza. So,
that's right. He did go to Shaker.
Right. So this is one of Shaker's, greatest individuals out of many, most notable, and the philanthropic work is second to none. I find the pizza being pretty good. So if you want a quality pizza with your Netflix or your Amazon, and you want to keep the legacy of Shaker alive, Newman's Own, Thin and Crusty Crust, or whatever Newman's.
And the Kelseys don't have anything on us for sure.
Right. Except that
that's right.
Except that they're big corn-fed boys from Heights. That's all.
Oh my gosh! One of my friend's sons played at Heights with Travis, and they're really good friends. He'll go down to the games. Yeah. They're one of my college friends. Yeah.
Eric, what was that factoid about Taylor Swift? What was that?
I heard through the grapevine. I read somewhere. I think Taylor Swift's grandfather is from Shaker.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, and one day maybe we'll have a Shaker versus the New Heights podcast. We'll sit across from them.
That would be amazing. That would be awesome. That would be so much fun.
Yeah,
because those guys, they are. I have to check them out. I have to check them out.
So they're not running. They only run it through the football season. They stopped running it. So So
I mean, we can go on there with the Heights and with the Browns and Steelers.
They're the Heights. We're the Shaker Heights. So
yeah.
Heights
bites. Yeah.
You know what? Whenever I pass by Heights, I still say that. It's so funny. I'm like, I ride past, and I used to live in University Heights, and I ride by Heights. So I always say Heights bites.
Yeah.
Is that Wendy's still there right across the street? That Wendy's?
It's still there.
Wow.
Yep.
They're building something else like right next door. So they're doing construction. I forget what it is. But yeah, that Wendy's is still there. And it's one of the decent ones in the city.
I remember they used to have that
the other day. Right when they were letting out, I was like, oh. But my cousins go there.
Is not there,
okay.
No. No, they've been gone.
I remember there used to be a wing spot that was on Lee right near the high school. That was a pretty popular spot back in the day.
They've had a lot of turnover and stuff like that in that area. But that Wendy's is still there. They're still
and also
there.
The Lee Road Cinema, man. I hope that place does not close.
Oh, the
down.
Cedar Center.
Yeah,
I think they're still there.
Yeah,
the Cedar Lee. Yeah, they're still
theater.
there.
Record Revolution. That bugged me.
That was.
Yeah.
Psychotic capitalism. That's what I call it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Azizi, Stacey Lynch. For those who don't know, her name is Azizi, and until she tells you differently. Man, it's been great having you on and getting reacquainted. And now, we'll continue to get reacquainted.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And send people our way. Like I said, we trying to get everybody. And you're one of the perfect examples. You have a story, and for us, it's all about trying to capture as many stories as we can from just cross section of folks. Like when you mentioned, for example, like Erica Hivegi, I remember her. She was on Facebook in the early days, like the 2008 early days, and everything. And I do vaguely remember Susan DiPietro. So like, all the outliers, out here,
Yeah.
the outsiders
Yeah.
amongst the insiders, so
Exactly.
yeah. Well, all right.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah,
this has been
guys,
another.
come on. This is chill. This is
Yeah.
lovely. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Oh no, thank you. So this has been another
While we're
episode.
still recognizable, we need to see each other while we're still recognizable.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, well, this has been another episode of the Shaker Heights. Experiences may vary, with Eric Green and myself and the Azizi Lynch. And also merchandise. If you want to show your Shaker spirit, it makes a great gift. Check out our merchandise at the link below. Yes. Yeah. That shirt that Eric has on would be a perfect cigar lounge.
Yeah, make sure you don't see my bald spot. I'm not going to go around again. I have to edit that out.
Yes. And so thank you for everybody tuning in who watched it live, and those who will watch it after it's posted. And as we go into another week, everybody, God bless and stay hydrated. And we'll let you know about our upcoming guests because, we got to fill in the calendar. We got some folks upcoming. I think we have Brud Bebout, Eric Hansen, The Fun Bunch. Who else we have upcoming? We just got folks upcoming. So, you'll keep it posted to our
James Longs. Are you familiar with Morning of Black Star, class of '83?
Gotta get him. Yeah.
Yeah, he's made a soft commitment, but he'll be on. You got to catch up with what he's doing.
And we got to get Mike Chapman.
We got search parties out for some of these people. Quinn Rubin, love to hear from him. Love to speak to him.
The Brown family, Malcolm, Jeff, and Rhonda. We got to get on. Talk about themselves and their father's legacy. There's just so many. I mean,
members of Haven reuniting of Addicts, maybe.
Oh my gosh.
Todd Lane, all that. Man. Steve Smith, Eric Smith, John Miller, Dave Richmond, Rob Barrick, Ben London. A cornucopia of folks. So come on, people.
Minneapolis.
Yes, hit us up and grab the like you're on Soul Train. Let's hear your story. All right, Stacey, you have a rest of a wonderful day, a week ahead.
Thank you.
Stay well, stay safe. Stay hydrated. Water is life. Water is life. Okay, everybody, we're signing off live from the Linfield Rapid Stop in our minds. This is the Shaker Heights. Experiences may vary. Until then, peace and love. Yeah.